Hi, my name is Nicholas Otero, and alongside my peers Carolyn Chang, Zach Abed, and Nikki Lambert, we are going to share with you today our project on family and non-family businesses and how it relates to the high-performance organization framework created by Andrew DeWalt. So our project is focused specifically on family and non-family businesses, and our project began by polling 167 small and medium businesses in the local area and beyond, and utilizing the HPO framework to try to understand how different elements within these companies that we poll would affect both family and non-family run organizations. And we're going to talk throughout our presentation about both family and non-family businesses and what it means to be an HPO, but as a basic overview, we used SPSS, an analytical software, to dive into the questionnaire data. And aided by contemporary literature on family and non-family run organizations, we attempted to understand which areas both family and non-family organizations were lacking in terms of HPO, as well as which areas they excelled in. Utilizing the contemporary research and the data that was provided by SPSS and the questionnaire, we then came up with suggestions for what we thought these types of organizations could do to increase their HPO scores in certain sectors where they might be lacking, and increase their overall HPO scores. So a family business is really simple. It means that two or more family members are directly involved with the core functions and management of a company. They usually have majority ownership or control over the company's decisions, and this basically just means that two or more managers own or run the company. And within family businesses, it's important to note that there's a wide array of different types of organizations, anywhere from small mom and pop shops that are run by a few family members to large corporations that bring in large revenue and do very, very well and are often passed down intergenerationally. So there's also a distinction to be made within family businesses for first generation, second generation, third generation, and even beyond. For our project, like I said before, we decided to focus in on specifically just family and non-family businesses as a comparative analysis, but it is important to note that within both of these categories, there are a wide array of businesses. In terms of non-family businesses, this simply refers to any company where family members are not the primary form of leadership. And there might be family members within the organization, often in high levels of management, but that does not mean that it is a family-owned business, family-owned and run. So there is a distinction that needs to be made there, and often the lines can become blurry, but as a whole, family businesses are run by family members, non-family businesses are not. The HPO framework is a framework created by a man named Andrew DeWalt. And basically, it's a way to understand why some companies perform better than others. So what Andrew DeWalt did is he created a questionnaire with a series of questions that breaks down different elements of a company, and he sent it out to thousands of companies. Compiling all of the data and looking at companies that perform better than others, he created what he has coined the HPO company, a high-performing organization. And for DeWalt, a high-performing organization is an organization that achieves financial and non-financial results that are exceedingly better than those of his peer group over a period of 5 years or more. And how the HPO framework works is there are 5 different branches that DeWalt has deemed essential to a company's success. Companies that score higher on all 5 of those different branches tend to have a positive correlation with higher financial and non-financial results. And DeWalt found that the evidence was astoundingly in his favor. His framework seemed to work. So these companies that scored a lot higher were experiencing financial and non-financial performance that was well above the average of everyone in their peer group. And the different tiers of his HPO framework are made of 5 different categories.
Literature overview. In our study, we relied upon 9 articles which compared family versus non-family businesses. Another article used for the study was Entrepreneurial Management and Governance in Family Firms. Family plays a major role in the activity of the economy, such as in the creation and management of a firm. Although it has been recognized that family dimension plays a vital role in many organizations, there's still little research done on its exact effects on decision-making and final outcomes. This article discussed a variety of important topics regarding agency cost in family versus non-family firms, the effects of culture, and management succession. In another article, CEO turnover in family firms, how social exchange relationship influence whether a non family CEO stays or leaves. The authors discuss how personal relationships are an important factor within an organization. These kinds of relationships have shown to have a major impact on why people remain or leave an organization. This article utilizes a social exchange theory on how attachment to personal relationships comes into existence. Employee issues at the executive level are also addressed in one of the articles that is titled Financial Performance and Non-Family CEO Turnover in Private Family Firms Under Different Conditions of Ownership and Governance. Family involvement in decision making should be carefully considered prior to hiring a non-family CEO. This is very important in tightly structured ownerships because of the effects it can have on the governance of decisions. The goals of an organization like this might not reached but are properly clarified. And another factor is the relationship between the family members within the organization and the non-family CEO. The general consensus of the article's research suggests that firms may benefit more from a regional or global geographic scope, depending on their family leadership type. For instance, family-led businesses are most beneficial with a regional strategy, while non-family-led businesses are most beneficial with a global strategy.
The first HPO factor is management quality. Management quality can be described as managers who instill trust in their employees by treating them with fairness, kindness, and respect. Managers set an example as to how to lead with integrity, propose decisions, avoid overanalysis, and coach employees. They make tough decisions by holding people accountable for their performance and do not hesitate to take action against non-performers.
In order to compare performance between family and non-family businesses, we ran one-way ANOVAs. For HPO1, our one-way ANOVA showed that non-family businesses perform better in areas of managerial trust and being role models. On the other hand, family business seems to be performing better in managerial quality, managerial confidence, being decisive with non-performers, being strong leaders, showing managerial effectiveness, showing managerial responsibility, and showing managerial accountability. There is no discernible difference in the areas of managers making fast decisions and management taking fast actions. With that being said, there is no significance at all within this data, so we can't discern who is better at which factor with this set of data.
And one of the best solutions we found for this, and this is repeated often throughout the literary research that we did, is that bringing in an external mediator can be extremely beneficial to remedying some of these issues. So this external mediator could be just a third-party company or even just an individual that is unbiased in the situation and can provide some leadership and some structure and perhaps even provide some coaching to the employees themselves that doesn't come directly from those family management members. We also found that evaluation systems tend to work very well in a similar manner. And so having a very structured evaluation system of which the managers themselves, so the family members, are also held to that evaluation system, can help build trust within the organization because employees feel that all family members are treated equal. In terms of non-family companies, we found that the majority of them deal with similar issues. So they scored a little bit lower in most of these HPO1 categories, but most of their issues in HPO1 were related to sort of similar things. And this, of course, relates back to their lower scores in, for example, confidence and fast and responsive decision making. And it basically has to do with the interconnectedness of the company. And so sometimes, since non-family businesses don't have that family tie that a family business might, they might lose some of the interconnectedness between different levels of hierarchy and between management themselves. And that can lead to lower response time, lower decision-making time, and overall less integration. So things that we suggested are things like team integration systems. So this can be even something like a corporate getaway where just the sort of management is integrated with the employees and sort of connecting that hierarchical bridge or gap that is created over time.
The second HPO factor is openness and action-oriented, which means that HPOs value a culture of transparency in order to bring about effective results. Knowledge sharing and feedback provided by employees are highly encouraged through the use of two-way dialogue throughout all levels of the organization. Risk-taking, experimentation, and permittance of mistakes are perceived as opportunities for innovation and learning, which fosters change. Changes lead to results, which are driven by performance that rejects complacency and requires strong discipline.
Our second ANOVA was used to compare HPO2 factors in family versus non-family businesses. While it seems to be that there are differences between the data, again we found no significance. Non-family business appears to be marginally better at dialogue, knowledge exchange, and allowing mistakes. Contrasting that, family business appears to be marginally better at employee involvement, welcoming change, and being performance-driven. Again, there is no significant differences, and we cannot make any clear-cut decision on who is better at HPO2.
And so removing some of that command chain and not having employees have to report to their immediate superior to reach all the way to the top, instead hosting what are called sort of open sharing sessions where employees of all levels get together and share and have two-way communication or dialogue and get to express their concerns and also hear from others. And it's important that all employees are sort of heard equally. This really increases not only the communication within the organization, but the culture of communication within that organization and can help those family businesses. We also found that family businesses tend to score very low in allowing mistakes, and they only scored a little lower than non-family businesses, but it was significant in terms of overall score. And one of the best suggestions we found for dealing with this is creating a mistake ritual. So this is something the literature mentions quite often. It's something that we were kind of familiar with as well, and it's creating a ritual every time an employee commits a mistake, and this ritual sort of would be individual to each company, but would revolve around learning from that mistake and moving on in a timely manner. So not wasting time delving and making the employee feel bad for his or her actions, instead moving forward, taking away that sort of learning lesson and building that culture of allowing mistakes whilst making sure that employees are learning and not committing those mistakes in the future. For non-family companies, one of their lower scores for HPO2 was welcoming change. And this, of course, is so important in the modern day with the increase in technology, the variability of markets and things changing. And so non-family companies could benefit very highly from creating a culture that welcomes change. And one of the ways that organizations do this is by having long-term projections of things that could happen in a worst-case scenario.
The third HPO factor is long-term orientation, which entails sacrificing short-term profits in exchange for long-term gains. It is about prioritizing the needs of all stakeholders, which includes not just shareholders, but also employees, customers, suppliers, and the environment. Many of today's organizations focus on corporate sustainability to ensure that ethical and responsible actions are being practiced throughout their organization. HPOs stay consistently involved with their customers by identifying their needs, addressing their concerns, creating win-win situations with them, and cultivating lifelong relationships. Management remains loyal to the organization and fosters longevity by putting the needs of the organization first. Partnerships with suppliers, customers, and other organizations advance growth, which increases competitive advantage. Lastly, high performers are promoted from within the organization and a safe workplace environment is encouraged.
We ran another ANOVA analysis comparing HPO3 to family and non-family businesses. While it seems that non-family businesses perform better in areas of long relationships and secure workplaces, family businesses perform better in areas of customer focus, long tenure, and internal promotion. We again find no significance between these factors and cannot draw conclusions based on this ANOVA analysis.
And so one of the things that non-family businesses can do to increase their internal promotion is to create programs that identify talent early on within the organization. So of course, in order to promote internally and be successful, an organization has to get good at identifying the talented employees within that organization that are going to serve as leaders later on in the future. So by creating a program that allows them to identify that talent early on and sort of foster and grow those leadership skills, they can increase their internal promotions while still getting the best people for the job that have that increased motivation as well as that care for the company they're working in. We also found that in terms of long-term development, non-family companies score a little bit lower. And one of the things that they can do is really just invest in long-term employee development. So this can come in the form of training programs, seminar, even paying or subsidizing a part of extended education, so sending their employees to get MBAs. By investing in their employees, they create that long-term mindset, and they really help those employees foster and grow that relationship. But the best things that we found in contemporary literature that organizations of all kinds can do to increase the feeling of security within a company is to provide a structured and consistent operational framework. So employees tend to crave structure and safety. All people do, really. And so by providing just a structured way of operating to where employees know the rules, they understand the culture of the company, and it's very upfront and transparent, that's going to create a feeling of safety. Also, by having scheduled communication times and places where people can voice anonymous concerns, that is very important.
The fourth HPO factor is continuous improvement, which refers to embracing a unique strategy that will distinguish organizations from their competitors in the marketplace. Their strategy is never stagnant and is regularly renewed through the improvement, simplification, and alignment of all processes. This is accomplished when unnecessary procedures are abolished, progress is measured, and goals are monitored. As a result of this, innovation of products, processes, and core competencies can take place.
Displayed is the results of HPF for family versus non-family businesses. We found that non-family businesses performed better in areas of unique strategy, financials reported, non-financials reported, and innovating products. Family business, on the other hand, strived in areas of continuous improvement, processes simplified, and innovating competencies. We found a significant difference in processes aligned, where non-family businesses perform significantly better than family businesses. Other than processes aligned, there is no significance in HPO4.
So one of the things that we found in literature was really important is to focus on a few key processes and then implement initiatives for interconnectedness and find ways to ensure those processes are tracked and monitored over time. And so companies often struggle with integrating their processes and simplifying them because they have so many and they have no way of tracking deliverables. And so for both family and non-family organizations, it would be extremely beneficial to find a method to track their successes, to track their setbacks, and ensure that the few key processes that they focus on are actually being delivered upon and are progressing at a good pace. And so this can be as simple as implementing software. So major companies such as Oracle or SAP provide business analytical software to track different initiatives and their progress. It can be something like creating checkpoints as a part of the organization's culture to ensure that as processes are simplified, they can be monitored over a period of time. And even just reevaluating every couple months and figuring out what can be cut from the company, what can be simplified, and what can be streamlined to focus on those few key differences that are points of difference for a specific organization and not get diluted in their business strategy.
Employee quality, the final HPO factor, includes the recruitment of a diverse and complementary workforce that can rapidly identify issues and solve them with ease. HPOs routinely train their employees in order to develop their skill set, providing them with the resources needed to be flexible and resilient. They inspire them to work creatively and look for new ways to conquer challenges.
Charted is our data derived from our one-way ANOVA of HPO5, comparing family and non-family businesses. It appears that non-family businesses perform better in areas of inspiration and diverse workplaces. Contrastingly, family businesses perform better in areas of resilience and partnerships. Again, there is no significance with this data, which means we cannot derive who is better at HPO5 or any of their individual factors.
And so some ways that we can improve resilience within a company is by fostering a very optimistic mindset. So the idea that although there will be setbacks and sort of making employees understand that there will be dips in the market, there will be setbacks in the company, there will be hardships the company will have to face, they will always overcome them. And this can be done through things like public speakers that come in and speak on the issue, or simply management connecting their ideas with their employees and ensuring they understand that the company needs to continue to be resilient and the employees themselves must be resilient in the face of hardship because that reflects on the company as a whole. They can do things like introduce rolling forecasts and plan for worst case scenarios. So something that we suggested earlier in another HPO category, which is just to plan for a worst case scenario, because that of course is going to increase the adaptability of the company, and looking at what they would have to do in those worst case scenarios is going to prepare them for the case that something like that happens, thus making them more resilient. For family companies, we found they scored lower on diversity than non-family companies. And this is actually also backed by a lot of literature, given that family companies often hire people they know, and they often start off smaller, focused more around the family themselves. They can lack the impetus to sort of diversify in their hiring process. Done by increasing diversity training, so people coming in and speaking about the importance of diversity, including more individuals in the hiring process. So sometimes when the hiring is done by only a few key members, they are hiring people of similar backgrounds. This is also done by remembering that diversity is not simply an issue of race, but of background, of education, even of socioeconomic level, and so looking for diversity in all types and of all types, and then providing diversity training to the employees themselves so that they can value diversity within the organization and do their own part to try to increase it.
Family business approach to organizing, management, and succession to those of non-family businesses. In addition to this, the article includes a discussion of the cultures of family businesses and how that influences management, operations, and decisions. HPO Pillar 2 is openness and action orientation, and this section focuses on a business success from the perspective of being open to change, action orientation, and encouraging the open flow of communication. In the article titled CEO Turnover in Family Firms, How Social Exchange Relationships Influence Whether a Non-Family CEO Stays or Leaves, the authors discuss these issues in family businesses that have non-family CEOs. The article discusses how relationships between family shareholders and non-family CEOs affects the performance of the business, communication among the leaders of the business, and ultimately the turnover at the top of the management chain. HPO Pillar 3, which is long-term orientation. This section discusses the long-term orientation of a business. An article found useful on the subject was family firm goals and their effects on strategy, family, and organization behavior. The key differences between the goals of family businesses versus non-family businesses are definitely discussed in this. And these goals affect many aspects of the business, including employment decisions, communication, interaction, and customer relations. This article addresses the unique goals of family businesses and the resulting influence on the long-term orientation of the business. HPO Pillar 4, which is continuous improvement and renewal. This section addresses the continuous improvement and renewal of the business, both of which are essential to remain competitive. Two articles helpful in this analysis were: the goals of the business will influence how the business reacts to changes in the marketplace and how aggressively it attacks opportunities. In addition to this, the home region focus of a family-owned business results in more opposition to diversification, which will also affect the company's ability to improve and renew the operation of the company. HPO Pillar 5, which is employee quality. This section discusses the role of employee quality in high-performance organizations. A major difference between family-owned businesses and non-family businesses lies in the manner in which personnel are hired and promoted. Two articles used in this research were Entrepreneurial Management and Governance in Family Firms and CEO Turnover in Family Firms, How Social Exchange Relationships Influence Whether a Non-Family CEO Stays or Leaves. The articles point out advantages and disadvantages in employee relations between the two types of businesses.
As a business grows, it becomes increasingly necessary that there exists a single place where they can keep track of relationships with all customers. Customer Relationship Management, otherwise denoted as CRM, is a data-driven approach to managing a company's exchanges with both current and potential customers. Fundamentally, it provides an organization with real-time insights about their customers' needs, tools to manage customer accounts, and resources to provide just overall better customer service. CRM systems are advantageous for HPOs because it provides employees in sales, marketing, and customer support with convenient resources to make swift and effective decisions in a fast-paced environment. Employing a CRM system into an organization largely impacts all 5 factors of HPO. For instance, it encourages fast decision-making and fast actions, a component of HPO1, by improving the speed, efficiency, and consistency of the customer service that is offered by businesses. CRM systems are also integrative, providing a range of options that managers can use to tailor a customer's experience to suit their liking. This characteristic is what classifies CRM as a results-oriented technique, a component of HPO1, which is used for handling customer-related issues and simplifying the problem-solving process for employees. HPOs highly value dialogue and knowledge sharing, a part of HPO2, that of which are enhanced when utilizing CRM. Collaborative features such as shared analytics, summary reports, built-in chat features, cross-device support, and team dashboards support this factor. The most evident HPO factors that CRM also benefits are customer orientation, a part of HPO3, process management, a part of HPO4, and innovation, also a part of HPO4, because it gives easy access to customer data and streamlines processes through workflow automation. Lastly, an organization's partnerships, a part of HPO5, are much easier to maintain because of partner management features that include smoother communication channels and real-time data updates between partners.
We also ran a one-way ANOVA analysis of CRM in regards to family versus non-family business. In areas such as responsiveness and dissemination, family businesses perform better than non-family businesses. In the area of generation, non-family perform better than family businesses. With that being said, there is no significance among these differences, and therefore we cannot draw any concrete conclusions on who is better at CRM.
So the triple bottom line, just to give a quick summary, is a 3-tiered approach to sustainability where all 3 tiers, the people, the planet, and the profit, referring to, of course, a social, financial, and environmental factor, all come together to create diversity for an organization. And of course, the idea is that by having this holistic approach to sustainability, companies can truly become sustainable.
To better understand the relationship between HPO and triple bottom line factors, we ran a correlation analysis. Green displays a strong positive correlation, while yellow displays a medium strength positive correlation, and orange shows a low strength positive correlation. HPO1 showed a strong positive correlation in the area of finance, while showing a medium strength positive correlation in the area of planet and people. HPO2 showed a strong positive correlation in finance, with a medium strength correlation in planet and people. HPO3 showed a medium strength correlation with finance, and a low strength correlation with planet and people. HPO4 showed a strong positive relationship with finance, with a medium strength correlation of planet and people. HPO5 showed a strong positive correlation in the area of finance, with a medium strength correlation in planet and people. All correlations are positive, indicating to us that increasing HPO factors also increases triple bottom line factors. However, the area of finance is most affected by HPO, with 4 of the 5 showing a strong positive correlation. The other 2 factors, planet and people, show less strong correlations between HPO factors and themselves. We ran 3 regression analyses for the triple bottom line factor of people in comparison to the HPO factors. Under the total dataset regression analysis, we found an R-squared of 0.251, which is strong for our R dataset. The significant factors are in HPO4 of a p-value of 0.002, all other factors being insignificant. For family, we found an R-squared of 0.310 with no significant factors. and for non-family, we found an R-squared of 0.260, with the significant factor being HPO4 with a 0.039 p-value. In regards to the significance of our regression analysis, we found that all three are significant. For total, our f-value is significant as it is p equals 0.000. For family, our f-value is significant as p equals 0.000. And for non-family, our f-value is significant because p equals 0.001. We ran 3 more regression analyses, this time comparing planet to the HPO factors. Under the total dataset, we found a weaker R-squared value of 0.165, with the significant factor of HPO4 being p-value of 0.021. Under the family section, we found a slightly stronger R-squared value of 0.168 with no significant factors. Under non-family, we found an R-squared of 0.212, which is stronger, and a significant factor of HPO4 being 0.026. For our regressions on planet, we found that all 3 of our regressions are significant. For the total cases, our f-value is significant as it is p equals 0.000. For family, our f-value is also significant with p equaling 0.007. And for non-family, our f-value is also significant as p equals 0.008. Finally, we ran 3 more regression analyses, this time for finance versus HPO. Under the total dataset regression analysis, we found an R-squared of 0.271, which is decently strong for this type of analysis. The significant factor here was HPO4 with a p-value of 0.006. For the family section, we found an R-squared of 0.272, which is slightly stronger than total with no significant factors. For non-family, we found a significantly higher R-squared value of 0.319, with a significant factor of HPO4 with a p-value of 0.023. For our financial regression analysis, we found that all of our regressions are significant. Our total cases regression, our f-value is significant as p equals 0.000. For family, our f-value is significant because p equals 0.000, and for non-family, our f-value is also significant with p equaling 0.000.
We found many things that we thought were very interesting in our report. For instance, we were surprised to see very little significance in the difference in performance for families and non-family businesses. We were shocked by this because our hypothesis led us to believe that we would see a much higher score for non-family in the HPO factors. The regression analysis showed us that HPO4 openness and action orientation showed the greatest effect in the performance of finance and people. While we expected openness and action orientation to impact the financial status of a company, we didn't expect it to impact the people aspect of the triple bottom line with significance. While we knew this would be one of the most important factors in financial performance, we weren't expecting it to be this highly significant. One of the most interesting takeaways that we found were that HPO1, management quality, HPO3, long-term orientation, and HPO5, employee quality, all do not show any significance in regression analysis when analyzed against triple bottom line factors.
The most interesting things that we learned is how different family and non-family businesses can be. So we found that when we first approached this project, we analyzed family and non-family organizations as 2 distinct categories, but as we went further into our analysis, we began to understand that they really are a world within each category. And so there's so many different types of family businesses, and this kind of led to there being fewer differences per category than we originally expected. And we found one of the most interesting things that we learned was that the strengths of one company can often be the weaknesses of a company of a different company. And so, for example, family companies are often very interconnected, and there's a close social dynamic in the management. And although this can be largely beneficial to many organizations, it can also be hugely detrimental to the other organizations. And so the same skill or the same dynamics within organizations can often hurt or help different companies, and it really comes down to the dynamic of that individual company. This project has so many applications for our own lives. So as Rollins students and many of us business majors and aspiring business professionals, when we enter the workforce one day as employees, managers, or possibly owners, having the ability to understand why some companies achieve higher financial and non-financial results than others is extremely beneficial. And as we'll be starting in various organizations and various markets, I think one underlying theme that occurs in all types of companies is that there are always going to be common issues within the organization. And the HPO framework really lays the groundwork for understanding where those issues might arise from. And by studying contemporary leadership and understanding contemporary literature that might come from family and non-family organizations or other sources, we really could bring extreme value to ourselves as growing professionals and to any company that we might work with. And I think by combining this framework, this understanding of why some companies perform at a high level, with things like CRM, as well as the triple bottom line, that three-tiered approach to sustainability, we can really lead the way as business owners, as business runners, or employees, and work at or work for or create organizations that are going to perform at a high level and be sustainable, which is really the Rollins mission statement, and I think many of our goals as aspiring professionals. And this has been our presentation for high performance organizations on family and non-family businesses. Thank you for watching.